Like, you know. You seen the time of the video, your girl is back again with the story time. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey. And if you're a returning subscriber, I don't even gotta say nothing because you know what's up, I know what's up, we know what's up, and that's on weight. That's on weight. That's on period. And Mary had a little lamb. As y'all see by the title of the video, today we're gonna be talking about this creep. I really don't know what I want to name this video. I think I'm gonna name it He Tried to Study His Way Into My Pants or Study Session Creep. Y'all, I really don't know yet, but y'all seen the title, so y'all already know what it is. So y'all already know in order for any of my story times to make sense, I have to give y'all a little backstory. So it's my freshman year in college, and me transitioning from high school to college, it was not easy. Like in high school, I believe I graduated with like a 3.5 or like a 3.7 GPA. And it kind of came easy. Like I really didn't have to study. I really didn't have to do much. But in college, in order for my grades to like reflect that, I would have to like study a lot. Like y'all, I would be in the library like nonstop. So boom, I'm in this biology class. I believe it was I think it was biology 1010. It was like a basic biology class. And it was like 60 or 70 people in this class. And y'all, the first test rolled around and I flunked. Like the first test, I bombed the first test. I believe I got like y'all, I'm kind of embarrassed to even admit this, but I believe I got like a 40. Y'all, I got like a 40 or a 50 on this first test, but I didn't feel as bad because we're gonna call my professor Professor D. So Professor D was like disappointed in the whole class. He made an announcement and he was like, basically everybody flunked. He said the class, the average was like a D. And then I remember him telling this one guy to stand up. We're gonna name him Diggling, y'all. So he tells this one guy to stand up and he's like, Mr. Diggling, stand up. And the guy stands up and he's like, this is the highest score. This person scored the highest in class. He got a 77% on this test. So that was the highest score in class. And I got like a 40 or a 50. So I wasn't feeling as bad. I'm just like, all right, I'm a failure, but I'm just one of the failures. Like I didn't feel as bad. So I peeped the guy that he told to stand up, and this guy was like, I don't know, y'all. He was like really, really short. He looked awkward looking. He kind of looked very like nerdy and like to himself. He looked like very quiet and to himself. So I peeped the guy, whatever. At the end of that class period, I kind of went over to the guy and I caught up to him after class and I was just like, hey, you got a 77 on the test. Like, can we study together or whatever? And I asked him for his number. He's like, yeah, cool, we can study together. I give him my number and that was that, y'all. I only gave him my number for curriculum purposes. I really wouldn't talk to this type of guy outside of like, you know, studying. Like that was it, just studying. He wasn't really my type. I wasn't really attracted to him. So boom. Fast forward to like the following week, I get a text from this guy named Diggling, and he texts me and he's like, hey, I'm having a social at my house tonight. Do you want to slide through? So when I see this text, I'm kind of like, you having a social? Because like I said, y'all, this guy looked kind of awkward. Like, and hold on, let me back up. For y'all that don't know what socials are, it's basically like a mini house party with like, I don't know, around like 50 or 30 people. It's like a personal little house party or whatever. So I was kind of shocked that he was even throwing a social. Like he didn't look like the party type of guy. So he's like, yeah, I'm throwing a social at my house. Do you want to pull through? So I respectfully declined. I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to come or whatever. But I was kind of just like, I don't know, y'all. I was just thrown off a little bit because he just didn't look like the type of guy that went to parties. I don't know. He just looked very, very nerdy. So fast forward a few months later, y'all. Well, not a few months, maybe like a month later, the second test rolls around. By this time, me and Diggling, we didn't study together. I didn't study with anybody, y'all. I flunked the second test. And this time, don't come for me, y'all. This time I didn't flunk it badly. I think I got a D this time. So I still flunked it, but I didn't flunk it. Last time I had got an F. But again, I still didn't feel as bad because my teacher did this whole announcement. Like he was lecturing us and he was just like, oh, the class average is like a 75% and y'all should be studying, y'all should be doing this and da da da. The teacher went on this whole big spiel. I remember him telling us that if we keep it up, we gonna be working at McDonald's, and like he was saying all of this crazy stuff. And around this time, y'all, it was a lot of pressure on me because like my number one concern was to get my degree and not get pregnant. Like, that was the two things that my mama told me before I went off to school. Like, my mom was a teen mom, so she was real paranoid. She always thought I would get pregnant young, because she had my brother like at, I think she had my brother like at 17, and she had me at 19. So y'all, like, my mom was the type of mom that would like wake up and she would call me and she would be like, Asia, I had a dream you was pregnant. And I'm just like, what? Like, I wouldn't even have a boyfriend, y'all. I probably wasn't even sexually active at that time, but my mama would just be like, Asia, I had a dream that she was pregnant. Like, she was just really paranoid, and she always thought I would get pregnant young just because she got pregnant young. Let me go ahead and give y'all a mini story time within the story time so y'all can really understand like how crazy my family is. It was this one time I had came home for like, I don't know if it was Thanksgiving breaks or I don't know what type of break it was, y'all, but I came home for a break and I was in my old bedroom, and for some reason I had a stomach ache, y'all. My stomach was hurting so bad. It was hurting so bad to the point where I was like in my bed moaning. So I'm in my room and I'm just like, I'm moaning because my stomach hurts so bad. So my auntie, she's at my house around this time. My auntie comes in the room, y'all, and she's like, Asia, what's wrong with you? And I'm just like, auntie, my stomach hurt. And she just like, So she leaves out of my room, and like 5 minutes later, I overhear her telling my mom, because me and my mom's bathroom, like we basically shared a bathroom, like our room was connected by the bathroom. So I overhear her telling my mom, she's like, my mom's name is Michi, y'all. So she's like, Michi, Asia may be pregnant.
Girl, what
so
the fuck is you talking about?
I'm in the bed. Meanwhile, I'm in the bed and I'm in pain. I'm overhearing this. And she's like, yeah, Asia may be pregnant. 2 minutes pass. My mom comes in the room, y'all, and she's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm just like, I don't know, my stomach hurt. Maybe it's something I ate. And she was like, you better not be pregnant. Like, you better not be pregnant. And just like, mama, like, a girl's stomach can't even hurt in pain without her assuming that I was pregnant, y'all. Like, my mom was just like, I don't know, y'all. She had a phobia of me getting pregnant. Like, she did not want me to get pregnant. And two, she wanted me to get my degree. So the fact that I had failed this second test, and in this class, it was 4 tests, and I believe each test was like, I want to say like 25% of our grade, and then I think we had like homework, like an online homework assignment that was like a very small percent of our grade. So I'm kind of stressed out at this point. I'm like, all right, Asia, you need to get your stuff together because you failed this second test. Now you have an F in the class. So this time I text Diggly and I'm just like, hey, when are you free? I really need to study, Blake, because I can't afford to fail. Like, I can't afford to be a failure. It was only my freshman year, y'all, but like I said, I couldn't afford to fail the class. So after class, Diggling caught up with me. He's just like, Asia, what did you get on the test? And I'm like, oh, I got a D on the test. And he's like, damn, really? Like, I got a B on the test. You should have hit me up and we could have, we could have got together and studied. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I had a lot of other stuff going on. I did want to mention, y'all, my freshman year, first semester, I think I was taking like 7 or 8 classes, which is not recommended for a freshman. So I was just caught up with other classes and stuff. So he's like, yeah, we can study together, we can get together. But y'all, we never really got around to studying or whatever. So that was that. I ended up going to, I think it was like a biology lab, a chemistry lab, and I think it was another subject, like a science lab, and they would basically have tutors in there. So I started going to this lab and I would just study in there and I would do my homework in there. The next time I went to class, I do want to mention that this class was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I only seen Diggling on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So on that Tuesday, he had told us everybody had flunked the second test and the class average was a 75. Well, fast forward to that Thursday, y'all, we come to class and Professor D, like, he just seemed really, really bothered that day. So we come to class, we sit down, and he's just like, I'm gonna do y'all a favor and I'm gonna be a little lenient and I'm gonna let y'all take y'all third test at home because I realized a lot of y'all wasn't having like enough time to take your test. So he's like, raise your hand if you had enough time to take your test. And like 50% of the class was like, yeah, we had enough time. And the other 50% of the class was like, no, we kind of Christmas treat the last 20 questions on the test because we didn't have enough time. It was like one of those classes where it was like a 60-minute period and it probably was like 75 questions on the test. So you had like less than a minute to answer the question. And these weren't like little ABC questions, y'all. These were like paragraph questions. So he was like, I'm gonna let y'all take the test home. I do want y'all to know that these tests were timed. And I know what y'all thinking. Y'all thinking like, oh, so y'all just gonna basically cheat. Y'all gonna be cheating. But y'all know that was not the case. You cannot cheat on this test. One, because Mr. D, he made his own test. This wasn't like the whole biology lab. They didn't have these same tests. Take it on something called, I think it was called like lockdown browser. So if you open another browser, they would basically know that you was cheating. And 3, the test was timed. So he was like, I'm gonna let y'all take the third test home. Y'all have to take it on lockdown browser. And I do want to mention, when we took the test the first time, we were taking them in class, like on a PC. So fast forward to after that class, Diggling hit me, and he's just like, I'm gonna be free. I don't remember what day, y'all, I'm not even gonna lie, but he basically was like, I'm gonna be free this day. You can come to my house and take the test, and I'll get us pizza and a movie after we take the test. So I was kind of like, like, why we need to do movie and pizza? We just need to take the test. But at the same time, like I said, y'all, I wasn't really intimidated by him. Like, Diggling just looked like somebody that was safe. Like, y'all know when you see a guy, and I don't know, y'all, like, he just looked mad safe. Like, he looked like the type of guy that watched like anime porn. Like, he just looked safe. Like, he didn't look scary. Like, he looked like a soft teddy bear. So I didn't really think anything of it. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'm gonna see you on Friday, and we're gonna take the test together. So we good. So I'm not even worrying about it, y'all. I stopped going to the little the biology lab, because I'm just like, all right, he gotta be on the last test, he gotta see on the first test. Like, he got this come easy to him. Like, he got this. So boom, y'all, fast forward to test day. I'm come to, what time was it? Okay, y'all, so I came to Diggling's house around 6 p.m. and I live in Palmetto at this time. Palmetto was like a dorm on family's campus, and then Diggling lives on a off-campus apartment, but it's like super duper close to the school. So I take the shuttle to his house, and I wanted to be done taking the test by 8 o'clock, because that's when the last shuttle run, because I'm a freshman, y'all, and I don't got a car. So boom, fast forward, I come to Diggling house. When I get there, y'all, the first thing I notice is the room is like dim. Like, when I come in there, there's like no lights on. There's like a little light above the kitchen, what is that thing? Above the kitchen, like the microwave, there's like a little light from the microwave, and he got Netflix on the TV. So I'm just like, like, sir, like, what you think finna go on? But at the same time, y'all, he looks safe. Like, he looked safe. He looked cool. So I come in there, y'all. I sit on the couch. I go ahead and take my laptop out, and I start just doing little practice homeworks before I take my test. So at this time, Diggling, he's in his room. He's probably in his room for like 5 minutes, and I'm just on the computer, just, you know, clicking through, just doing practice questions. So he comes out, and he's like, hey, don't you want to come in my room or whatever? It's nice and it's cooler in here. And I'm just like, no, it's okay. Like, I'll be hot. Like, it's okay. So he's like, all right, I'm not going to beg you or whatever. All right, what you doing? So I'm just like, I'm doing practice runs, and I'm going to let you know when I'm ready to take the test. And he's like, all right, that's cool. I got you. And mind you, y'all, Diggling told me that he already took his test, and he said he got an A on his test. So I'm thinking like, oh, this is going to be a breeze. But I still wanted to like know some of it. Like, I didn't want him to take my tests for me. I kind of just wanted him to like assist me take the test. So your girl just running through her little practice questions. I'm running through my little practice questions, y'all. Not even 5 minutes later, Diggling peeks his head out the room, and he just like, hey, my roommate just texted me and said that he's having company over, so you're gonna have to come in my room. So I'm like, all right, okay, we Gucci, it's cool. So y'all, I unplug my laptop, I get my bag, I get all my stuff, and I go in his room. When I go in his room, I do want to point out that his room was like very neatly and well put together. Like, it didn't give boy, like, I don't know, y'all, it didn't give boy room. Like, I don't know, y'all, it kind of just gave, like, his room was cleaner than mine. Like, the bed was nicely made, it smelled good. Like, his ceiling fan wasn't dirty, because y'all know how you can tell if somebody dirty. Like, look at their ceiling fan. If your ceiling fan dirty, that means that you don't clean on the regular. So his ceiling fan was real white, everything was real cleaned up, TV had no dust on it. Like, y'all, everything was bomb, everything was cool. So the whole time while I'm in his room, I'm sitting on the side of his bed. Like, I make sure, y'all, I sit on the corner of his bed, because one, I don't know you, and I'm not comfortable being at your house, honestly, in your room. So I make sure I sit like on the corner of his bed. So y'all, I'm sitting there, and I'm on my laptop, y'all, and I'm just typing. I'm going through my little study sessions or whatever, and he comes and he sits directly beside me. But when he sits beside me, y'all, his arm is like touching my arm. So he's like this, and he's like leaning over, like he's looking at my computer. So he's like, oh yeah, that's that, oh that's that, oh yeah, that's the that's that. And I'm just like, all right, like, he know what he's talking about, y'all, because the whole time he giving me the answer to my little, I'm doing like a practice quiz on like the, what is that thing called? I think it was called McGraw, I don't know, y'all, but it was like this homework thing we would have on McGraw, and he's like telling me the answers, and he's getting it right. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pass this test with flying colors, because he know what he's talking about. So he's just clicking, but the whole time while he's telling me the answers, y'all, Diggling is getting closer and closer closer to me. Like, it's to the point where he's like pressed against me, but he's like leaning to my, let me show y'all. Okay, so I got this mirror. This is my y'all, this is my laptop. This is my laptop screen, y'all. This is him. He's moving closer and closer and closer into my laptop, and I'm kind of like discreetly scooting over. I don't want him to know that I'm scooting over, so I'm kind of just like I'm discreetly moving over. So he keep getting closer and closer and closer to me, and y'all, it's literally at the point where I only have one booty cheek. One booty cheek is on the bed. My other booty cheek is like literally hanging off the bed because he keeps moving closer and closer and closer and closer to me. Y'all not gonna believe what he did. This man takes his right hand, and he places it in my inner thigh. He places it in my inner thigh. So immediately I'm like what? Like, no, like what are you doing? So I take his hand and I throw it off me, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I didn't throw it off like all aggressively. I'm just kind of like, you know, like that or whatever. And he's just like, oh, I'm sorry. He immediately starts apologizing. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. And I'm just like, it's okay. You're fine. Like, it's okay. It's okay. And it wasn't okay, y'all. So I don't even know why I told him it was okay. But I'm just like, it's okay. Because y'all, what? I know why I told him it's okay. Because y'all, I wanted him to take that test for me. And your girl wasn't leaving without taking that test. Because like I said, y'all, I could not afford to fail any more tests. So I'm just like, it's okay. But it really wasn't okay. So he kind of like backs off a little bit. He scoots away, and I'm continue doing my practice. By this time, I'm really ready for him to help me take my test. But he's doing like other stuff in his room, and I don't really want to rush him. And I already knew that I was going to be leaving his house after 8 o'clock because we started my test like around 7:30. He comes back and he's like, all right, I'm ready to help you take your test. And I do want to mention, y'all, we had 48 hours to take the test. So the teacher would like schedule the test on like a Thursday, and then we would have until like Saturday at midnight to finish the test. So he comes, he's like, I'm ready to take your test or whatever. So I got the test, my laptop on my lap, y'all. He takes my laptop off my lap, places it on his lap. He begins taking my test, y'all, and I'm sitting right beside him. Like, I'm watching everything he do. So I'm watching, and I do want to mention, once you click the answer, before you go to the next question, y'all, it lets you know if you get the answer wrong or right. So he's clicking, and y'all, I'm noticing every question that he clicks through is getting wrong. Like, it's the thing basically highlights the right answer. So it's like bing, and it's like a red mark, and then it's like a green mark over the right answer. So I'm just like what? So he's like getting all of my stuff wrong on my test. So I'm kind of confused, but I'm watching him. I'm still watching. I'm like, all right, maybe he just warming up. Like, I don't know what's going on, but eventually he gonna get into it. So he's still taking my test or whatever. I'm watching. And at this point, he done got like 15 questions wrong on my test, y'all. So I grabbed my laptop and I'm just like, I'll do it or whatever. And he's just like, oh, I'm sorry. I think we had a different test. My test was different. I didn't have these questions. And I'm like, why you didn't tell me that? Like, if your questions were different, I could have just took my own test. Like, you could have just told me that. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that the questions was going to be different, but I see now that the questions are different. So I grabbed my laptop from him, and I started taking my own test because it's just like, one, it's time, and two, I can't afford to fail this test. So I'm reading through. And y'all, out of nowhere, this man jumps his big, funky, nasty, crunchy ass on top of me, y'all. Like, I can't even describe how, okay, y'all, let me show y'all what he did. So y'all, this is me. My laptop is literally sitting on my lap. I'm taking a time test, y'all. This is me. I'm on my laptop right beside his bed. This man just jumps on top of me like this, and then like he tries to like bear hug me, like try to kiss me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? So at this point, I don't care, y'all. I'm kind of scared, and I don't really know what's going on. So I just Christmas treated the rest of my test. So I had like 20 questions left. I basically Christmas treated the rest of my test because I'm just trying to get the fuck out of this man's apartment. So I'm Christmas treating my test or whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I would just try. Like, I'm so sorry. And I'm just like, you thought you would just try? Like, first of all, I'm taking the time test, and two, who gave you the okay to think you can put your funky lips on my lips? Like, what the fuck? So I'm cussing him out or whatever, but at the same time, I'm aggravated. I'm just like, I like I'm basically just like clicking through my tests or whatever, and I'm trying to attempt to get out of his room. So when I'm trying to get up, I'm like wrapping my laptop cord up, y'all. I'm putting my laptop in my thing, and the bus is already, like, the bus is long gone, y'all. The shuttle that takes me from, I think he lived, I do not remember the name of those apartments, but if you know where Putnam at in Tallahassee, it's like literally right by Palmetto. So it's probably like a mile walk. It's not a far walk. So I'm putting all of my stuff away, y'all. I'm wrapping my computer up. I'm putting everything into the bag. And he's just like, oh, I ordered the pizza. The pizza's on the way. Don't leave. Like, I'm sorry. And y'all, he seems like super duper and embarrassed. And he's like really apologetic about it. Like, he's like putting his hand, like, y'all, he's like putting his hands over his head. And he's just like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I thought I would just try, but I'm just like, no, like, that's not okay. You don't do that. Like, that is not okay. And then he keeps saying, oh, the pizza's on the way. And I'm just like, fuck you and that pizza. I don't care if it was a Supreme pizza with 50 toppings on it. Fuck you in the pizza. So I'm wrapping up all my stuff, y'all. I attempt to leave his room, and he's kind of like standing near the door. Like, he has his hand over the doorknob. He's just like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. No, fuck you in the pizza. I'm ready to go. No. So I leave or whatever. And by this time, he wasn't lying about the whole his roommate having company, because when I came out of his room, I did see his roommate and somebody on the couch or whatever, and they probably was looking like, what the fuck is going on? Like, because y'all, when I said I was cussing him out, I was cussing him out. I was calling him every letter in the alphabet. I was calling him everything. So I leave or whatever. When I leave, it's dark as hell. And as I'm leaving, I see the pizza. Y'all, I see the pizza delivery guy like pulling up into his apartment or whatever. So he's not following me outside, but in a way I felt like he was following me outside, because I guess the pizza people had called him and told him to come outside, but he was like trailing behind me or whatever, and he was just like, no, like, don't leave or whatever, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm really apologetic. And the whole time I'm really mad because I have to walk home in the dark. Like, I think it was like 9:30 by this time. I was supposed to leave his house no later than 8 o'clock because, one, I needed to get home to take the shuttle. So I'm walking or whatever. I'm walking, and he's just like, please let me drive you, let me take you, whatever. And I'm just like, no, I'm unfucking comfortable. So I go back to my dorm, and of course, Shakira, if you watching this, girl, hey bitch. So I'm telling my roommate about this or whatever, and she's just like, what the fuck? Do you want to call damn UPD? Like, dude, I'm just like, no, it's cool. I don't want to even get them involved with this, because like, I can't believe this man like jumped. Y'all, when I say this man jumped, like, he not leap, y'all, he like just jumped on top of me and tried to kiss me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So boom, fast forward, it's not the next day, it's like a few days later, because this happened on like I believe this happened on a Saturday. It was Saturday, we wasn't in school, and then I didn't have that class until Tuesday. So I see him in class on Tuesday, y'all. This man has the nerve to speak to me like nothing happened. He's like, hey Asia, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even say anything to him, y'all, so I just ignored him. He act like nothing happened. And then fast forward a few years later, no, not a few years later, 1 year later, and I told y'all, if y'all not new here, y'all know I worked at Chick-fil-A on FAMU's campus. I'm working at Chick-fil-A on FAMU's campus, and if you go to FAMU, you know what the grill is. I don't even know if they still have the grill, but it's this restaurant called The Grill, and it's right beside Chick-fil-A. It's right beside the Chick-fil-A, and he's working at the grill, y'all, and this guy is literally trying to talk to me. Like, he's trying to act like nothing happened. Like, to this day, if I see him, he'll talk to me. Like, it's kind of crazy how he just tried to act like nothing happened. Like, that's the end of this story time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in my next video.